Hello, beloved, courageous souls. Welcome to the Naked Extraordinary Embodiment Blueprint Pod. This is where we just take off everything and choose to be in our truth, even though it may be uncomfortable. And if at all you just jumped into this and you saw this and you're wondering who Haumotseme is, I'm a freedom illuminator. And I help people to forever break free from generational imprints, toxic relationship, curses, and hexes so that they can attract the love that honors their worth, the love that loves them in their ugliest moment. But for that to happen, it requires you to be gut level honest with yourself. It requires you to choose you over and over again. And I'm showing up today, yes, in my YouTube channel. I haven't been showing up at it. I created it, but I put it aside for some time because I don't know, somehow I was held into say this, say that, but my heart is calling me to say it's time. And this is the time we get to talk about the ugly, the beauty, and the in between. You know, when I say we get to be naked, what I mean by that is we get to look at the shadows, we get to look at the wounds, we get to look at the pain. But instead of being ashamed or being stuck in guilt, we're going to use that as our superpower because the truth is, it didn't start with you. But at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to heal. Our parents, our ancestors, they did what they could with what they knew, with what they had. The question is, what are you going to do with the sweat and tears that they put in for you to be where you are at? Right? Today, I want us to talk about wanting to attract the relationship that you deserve. And if you're really ready for that, that means you get to disconnect, unplug from the old inherited imprints. You have to unplug from the templates of your ancestors. And it's not comfortable because that's what you've always known yourself as. And I'm calling you a courageous soul just to remind you that for you to have chosen to be born into that family of dysfunction, it shows how courageous you are. And on the other hand, there is something that you needed. That's why you chose that family. And you can sit there and just say, this is just how life is, or this is just who we are. Or you can look at it and choose differently. And why am I saying this? Because I walked the path, whether it's through my own journey, let me say, through me being a child and watching my parents, watching the society, watching the culture that I was born in. And I had to walk that. And I had to also watch my children. And I still remember when I was pregnant with my daughter, because I was awake, I would say, you know, I was more conscious than the two other children that I had. And through this journey, when I asked my daughter, why did you choose me as a mother? And she said, I chose you because I want you to help me with my self-esteem. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about because you're good, you're in good hands. You know, I'm married and everything is fine. And I'm saying that fine because at times we settle with everything is fine, but is it really fine? Or we tell ourselves that because it's okay. You know, I say when I look at my marriage was 70% okay. When I look at what okay means in the society, right? What we mean by okay. Okay could be that it's functional, you know, but on the other hand, it's costing me, right? So for me, that was the case. Like when I look at it, fine in the sense of that's what is acceptable. When I look at where I come from, that was okay. You know, that's what I saw. And we had our very good moments and when it went down, it went really down. When it's good, but when it's bad, it's really, really bad. And it's just like, yeah, we are in it together. Like they say, misery loves company, you know. So that's what was happening. But at the end of the day, I knew that if I settle with a 70% okay, because that's how it is with everyone else, it's gonna cost me my voice, it's gonna cost me my identity, it's gonna cost me my name, it's gonna cost me my purpose. So it was not about looking at the other person and saying you doing this and make them wrong. It was me facing myself. And when I say facing myself, I mean looking at myself and looking at where I come from. Because we love to talk about legacy in the sense of money, but emotional and mental well being is the highest legacy that you can leave for your children and those you love. Because no matter what you live with them, if they don't have that, it's all gonna go to a waste. And when you're talking about legacy, especially as we're talking about kings and queens, and I believe if you are in my space, you are that. Probably you are a queen, a king that is still operating in the shadow. It doesn't take away the queen that you are. You still remain a queen, you still remain a king, but you are in the shadow because those are the parents that you were born in. Hello. So I had to face myself. And facing myself, when we say you create your reality, facing myself is looking at the parents that I inherited, is looking at the voices that were loud, that were coming through from my ancestors. This morning I say this to my children. I said, I made it. I am the first one to get out of the country and live abroad. I'm the first one to be married abroad. I'm the first one to divorce in my family. And my daughter was like, Mommy, are you really serious? Divorce? And I'm like, heck yeah. Because I know what it took when those voices were loud, when the divorce process was going on. And even when I made calls and spoke to certain people, they were just like, the first question I remember, one of my siblings asked me, what's wrong? Is the man cheating? And I said, no, he's not cheating. That was my problem at some point in time, but now it's not my problem. My problem is my purpose. And she said, but if he's not cheating, where would you find a man who doesn't cheat? And here's the thing, and I guess that's the reason why this is coming through. When you are stuck in toxicity, when you are stuck managing chaos, because at times when you are living from force, wanting to force things, the only thing that remains is you managing chaos. You are so gone that you don't have time to follow your path, to follow your purpose, to even know what your passion is, because you are stuck in managing chaos. And when you get out of that, that's when you realize that, whew, I was so gone. You don't have time for yourself. You have time to check other people's phones. You have time to look around and see who is looking at your partner. You have time to screen and filter what the other person is saying. You are not growing because your attention is outside. You are stuck in looking outside of you, not within you. But when you are committed to you, when you choose to respect you, you look within you. And I remember when I was bitter about like not being disrespected by men and all that. And the mirror just came through when I was in a meditation. Why are you not respecting yourself? And when I looked at it, because at times people just get pissed off. Do you want to tell me that I'm arrogant if you're telling me that my partners are like me? Do you want to tell me all sorts of things? And I'm like, yes. And because when we're talking about you, could be your father who maybe was not even present in your life. Or maybe your parents were present physically, but emotionally unavailable because they were stuck with managing toxicity. They couldn't even hear you. They denied your truth because often when people say it's hard to be authentic, it's hard because you were conditioned to not speak your truth because your truth or your authenticity made other people uncomfortable. So you had to mesh in. And I'm not talking about this to shame or to make wrong of our parents. This is where people are getting it all wrong. They did their best with what they had because if they knew how to be present, they would have been present. And what is coming to mind right now is the last months of my mom's life, more than 10 years ago. Said something, and I was at the lowest in my life. And I said, I know you hate me. And I say that with every little ounce of power within me and pain that I was in. And for the first time since I was back and forth with my mom, wanting her to love me and her loving me in the way that she knew best, she looked at me and her heart dropped. And I could see her pain. And she said, I love you. But I was never taught how to appraise a child. And she shared a lot of her stories with me. It was hard in that times. It was not easy. But she pushed through. And a few months later, she passed. But I'm grateful that I had that. I had to share that with her while she was alive. And now on the other side, we have a better relationship. And one thing that she comes through saying so strongly is deal with issues, heal while you are still in physical form. Don't wait until you leave this earth for you to try to solve whatever that happened. And this is what we often do. We don't work on stuff. We push them under the carpet, and then it hurts us. It breaks our hearts when we grow up and see our children in the status that our parents were in. When we repeat the same patterns that we have seen with our parents and our siblings and all the relatives, all the toxicity that is playing on. And I'm just calling you to say, if you are really ready to finally attract the relationship that you deserve, you need to face you. The things that you never wanted to look at. Because these patterns have roots. It's not easy because most people don't want to look at this thing. I've worked with different people. It doesn't matter what qualifications they had. They may come from the best universities, being doctors and everything. But when you look at this thing, it gets uncomfortable. It gets ugly because they are used to theory, right? Like, what does it say? What is written there? But when you're talking about embodiment, what we mean is being with what is, right? I'm not saying be in your head and just say, I'm positive or whatever. I'm not saying rush to say, I'm strong, I don't give a whatever shit about a man or about a woman. That's a wound that is talking. Because a person who is healed knows that we are here to experience ourselves through relationships. We are here to grow through relationships. Life is relational, whether it's in business, whether it's professional, whether it's personal, you get to be present. You get to allow people to know, to see you. You get to open up and show the world who you are. But if you are stuck in who you should be, then you're going to be stuck in those patterns. So, are you settling for less than you deserve? Because I say this so many times, when you settle for less than you deserve, you receive less than you settled for. You may find yourself in relationships that are you feel not seen, you feel not heard, you feel not respected. But it's time for you to work on those things, and this is what Ignite Your Personal Power is about. We're gonna have 3 flipping days of diving deep. And for me, it's not the affirmation, it's not theory, it's really pulling out those blocks from your body so that you can finally feel how it feels like to be you, to feel you, so that we can remove those mind control programs that's still controlling how you think. We do the brain rewiring. We release the walls that you've built around your heart. And does any one of you believe in a soulmate? Or you just want a partner, but a part of you believes that I don't think that exists? I met my soulmate while I was still married. I think a part of me believed in soulmates, but I didn't know what I didn't know, right? Until we met in the way that we met. And when I came back, I was like, oh shit. I remember I looked at my then husband, I was like, am I cheating on him? But what I felt, I could not compare it to anything. And that was more like preparing me for the divorce that was coming because I knew what true love felt like from my soulmate. So at times you are stuck holding into pain because divorcing, like I said, you may have broken some chains because when you are going through things that were not done or that would cost you your life in the past, if you get to do that, you may hear some voices of your ancestors saying it's not safe. And then you push through it. But that's not enough. Don't just push through it and stay there holding pain, looking at it. It's quite interesting because there was a time probably 5, 6 years ago when my higher self showed me this picture that, oh, you took this mask and then there's another mask that you need to take off, but you are busy looking at this mask instead of taking the one that is on your face. So that's what most of you at times do. You get out of pain, you get out of whatever, and then from there you stay stuck looking at that. What is it that you truly want? If you want love, then let's connect you to your unique signature relationship blueprint that you deserve. Because your soulmate is waiting for you. The question is, are you ready? Do you have the capacity to receive and align with the love that you are really meant to experience? Or you are still stuck in what you've always known? Are you still making love with wounds? Are you still making love with pain? Are you still refusing even when the message is very clear in front of you to say you don't have to be here? Because some of you are busy. I'm praying about it. You are praying about it, but then things get messy. It gets stormy. But when it gets stormy, and then you say, the devil is a liar. No, it's not the devil. That's the God that you prayed about. And God is showing you that this is not where you are meant to be. And you are busy fighting, trying to force things. You're getting what you prayed for. What are you doing with it? Right? I know because I was that person. Every time I asked, God, show me, I was given the response. But I was stubborn and it got more painful. And I don't want it to get very painful for you. I want you to listen. And the reason that you are here is exactly what you need to know that you get to do something. So I'm going to put a link below. We're starting on Friday, 8 p.m. Berlin time. Saturday, 8 p.m. Berlin time. Sunday, 8 p.m. Berlin time. On the 30th of September, you're going to be a different person. You're going to listen to your intuition and hear it. Because some of you are busy talking about God. I'm praying. You are praying, but you are not listening because you are praying from the wounded place. Like the message that came through the other time. When you say, God, I'm praying. When you say, I want to hear my higher self or angels or whatever, do you hear yourself? Because it starts with that. If you can hear yourself, then you can be heard. If you can listen to you and see yourself, you can be seen. But most of you are seeing yourself through the filters of wounds, of pain that are out there. You want other people to see you leave your body to go chase love outside of you. But for you to experience what love is, you better come back to your body. You gotta come back to your heart. You gotta be here. Even when you're making love, you get to be present for you to experience that orgasmic bliss. I'll see you tomorrow. So the link is below. Jump in, and I can't wait for the magical transformation. This was it from me, Raumotemme, human MRI psychic surgeon, freedom illuminator, helping you to forever break free from generational toxic relationship imprints, parents, curses, and hexes, so that you can attract the love that honors your worth.